Good evening, everyone. I thought I would cover the two games that I just finished watching. We have Atlanta versus Indiana, and then the Connecticut Sun played the Aces. The first game, Indiana and Atlanta, was quite a good game. It was back and forth. Atlanta built up leads twice of like 14 or 15 points. But to Indiana's credit, they came back. They had a couple surges, and what I have here on the computer is one of those surges right at the end of because they were up 11 here right at the beginning of the fourth, and then there was a series of events that I thought was really telling. But the first quarter, Atlanta, clearly they had a height advantage with Brittany Griner and Bree Jones, and they were using that in the first quarter, which is what built them the lead. And then they made some key shots. One of the other things that I thought was really good was a great coaching decision by the Atlanta coach to put Ryan Howard on Caitlin Clark. I think that had a lot to do with stifling a little bit or slowing down Indiana's offense, because Ryan Howard was all over her, and she picked her pocket twice. So, but to Caitlin Clark's credit, she came right back, and she ended up tipping a couple of passes and intercepting those, and led to a break. So, it was good on both ends. Defense, a lot of physical with bodies, but a lot of hands, going for the ball a lot. Kelsey Mitchell had some great cuts to the hoop. There was a great, right before the half, there was a three and then a block and then a long pass to Caitlin got a long pass down to Lexi Hull for an easy hoop. That was really nice. And then she got fouled. So the first half, Atlanta built that lead, and, they fought back, and by the end of the half, it was 44-42. Atlanta was up. And then the third quarter started off with Ryan Howard she hit 3 threes at the start of the second half, and before you know it, Atlanta was up by 14 again. Also, Alicia Gray and Hillman also hit some threes. Yeah, they were up 13 points with 4 minutes left in the third. Aaliyah Boston played really well. She was fighting like crazy. Going up against Brittany Griner, who's, 4 inches taller than her, she still was able to get in there and get some points. She was kind of keeping them in when everybody else was struggling. So third quarter happens, and Aaliyah Boston was doing her part, and they had it down to 11, and then this happened. I'm going to just play this. There's a part of it that's I find really kind of funny, reminds me of a movie. But here we go. This is this sequence.
Boston has to hurry. Boston fires it up.
It's like everybody's all around there, and then boom, Lexi Hull ends up with it, and there goes the three. Boom. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit. And there were times where Atlanta almost blew it. They were doing really well, and then they just took some shots that weren't they weren't good decisions. They could have worked for a better shot. That one was good. And then they had number 33 on Caitlin in the second half, which I found that strange because Brian Howard did a really good job on her. But this is where I'm pretty sure this is where Caitlin Clark just decides, okay, time for me to do my thing.
Ball there on Brianna Jones. Reset the shot clock to 14.
This is the kind of effort and the role that Lexi Hull has really relished in, and that is going to the glass.
This whole thing, it's like that movie, The Replacements. I think it was The Replacements, or I'm pretty sure it was The Replacements. One of those really funny football movies where there's a scrum, and there's a big pile, and no one knows who has the ball, and the guy with the rugby. There's another Boston finish. She was helping. See, now it's down to 8. So that little rugger gets the ball. Comes up with the football. And I just thought of that when Lexi Hull came away with that. Because all those players are all in that kind of scrum. And then she comes out with it and then hits the three. That was great. I started laughing. That was a nice, one of Bree Jones's, made layups. But here goes Caitlin. There we go. Boom. Just knocks that down. Just so shocking. How far out she is. But then Atlanta, they miss, and now here they go again.
Indiana feeling a little momentum here. Clark has the fever back within 7. Hands there by Jones to knock it away.
Caitlin Clark going to work right here, gets in the gap. It's called gravity because she drags others with her. And Boston always makes herself available.
Anyway.
And then right here. Boy, you've grown to love watching it, and you can't get tired of watching it. Amazing.
That is just that signature Caitlin Clark shot.
And here she goes again. There goes the other one. And now all of a sudden you have a 4-point game. So that was, that was the beginning of the fourth quarter, and I thought, oh, wow, Atlanta's blowing this. Because they should have kept going into Bree Jones and Brittany Griner, and then they missed some shots down the stretch that, I thought they should have made. And Bree Jones traveled, I think, twice, but they were lucky to get out of Indiana with the win, because Indiana certainly fought hard. Let's see, what else did I have? That was pretty much it. Very entertaining game to watch, and it's always so fun when she starts hitting those threes. And she's a tough cookie. So that's my observation on the Indiana and Atlanta game. And I'll get to Connecticut. Okay, so now we've moved on to the Connecticut Sun and the Aces. This one wasn't... it ended up being a blowout, but Connecticut Sun defense played pretty well in the first half. Their shots weren't falling, and they kept dropping passes, and it was just a little sloppy. And Jackie Young and Jewel Lloyd were hitting threes, which built a big lead for the Aces. But what I have here on the screen was probably the most fun of the whole game. Sanaya Rivers is in the game, and she's guarding Chelsea Gray. So I'm just gonna let this play here. It's just the look on Chelsea Gray's face is great.
Looking up every second, being on the W floor. Gray pouncing. Oh, Rivers with the block. Gray sticks with it, and she lays it in, and the foul.
It was great.
Right here, they showed Chelsea Gray's face. Like she's just like, oh, that young whippersnapper. She just pancaked her. But to Chelsea Gray's credit, she grabbed the ball, went in, got the layup, and, got a 3-point play. So that was kind of the gist of things for the Connecticut Sun. But I did like to see the young players that Connecticut has. They have Marshall from USC. They have Bria Hartley. She's not like a rookie, but she played they played well in the first half. The second half, it was just really sloppy, and it was like they couldn't connect at all. But Sanaya Rivers was like, her speed was very evident in this game. She was all over the court. She even picked Chelsea Gray's pocket one time and got I think not long after this play. Let's see, what else? Peters played pretty well in the first half. The second half the Aces were so far ahead that there was just a lot of, I don't know, just too many missed shots. They kept dropping the pick and roll passes. Like the guards would go by, and then the pick would roll to the basket, and then they would, either the person rolling would drop the ball, or the person passing the ball couldn't get it to him. So that was a lot of missed opportunities there. But Ju Lloyd and Jackie Young, and then Chelsea Gray with those, just typical Chelsea Gray with her fall away. Like, you can't stop that unless someone comes up behind her and stuffs her, as she's fading away. But it's really hard to stop that. That's what, that's her signature move. Let's see what else. Yeah, it was, by halftime, it was 52-29. And then the final score was 87-62. But Vegas had pretty much pulled all the starters in the fourth quarter. Asia Wilson was in there for a little bit. But they got all the younger players in. Overall, I mean, this one wasn't as entertaining, but this particular moment was just a great moment. Just the look on Chelsea Gray's face, like, here's this rookie coming and pancaking me. That was great. Anyway, so those were the two games tonight. So I'll be previewing the Valkyries coming up. Their next game is tomorrow, so I'm going to do a preview on that. And then we also have, I believe it's Dallas is playing. Let me see if I can get back here. See what's on for... Yeah, Dallas is playing Minnesota. And then the Mystics are playing Golden State. So we'll look forward to that. And we'll do the preview for the Valkyries, and we'll see how they do. And just enjoy the games. Have a good night.